Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little frog. For this tutorial you're going to need plush yarn in green, little bit of pink and black, and DK yarn in black to embroider the mouth. I'm going to be using a 5.5mm crochet hook for this. In addition to that, you're going to need a pair of scissors, stitch marker, darning needle, and some fiber fill. So make sure you've got all of those components. Now before you start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off by working a slip knot with our green yarn using whatever method you prefer. This method here I'm using is an alternative to magic ring, but if you prefer working with magic ring, then skip this method and start working your first round of 6 single crochets straight into your magic ring. But for this method here, work a slip knot and chain 2. Skip your first chain and slip your hook in the second chain from your hook. We're going to be working our round 1 in there, and that's 6 single crochets. First single crochet, going back into that same chain stitch to work 5 more. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and my 6th. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches, and that will bring your stitches nice and close together. And from here we're going to start working in a spiral. To do this, you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round. Pull up a loop from there to start round 2. This is my first single crochet of round 2. Going back into that same stitch to work another single crochet. Now when you work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, it's called an increase. We're going to be working 6 increases in this round. Here's my second increase, third, fourth, fifth, and my final increase number 6. Now once you have your 6 increases, stitch count should be 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in the next stitch. Now from here I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my rounds and to keep an accurate stitch count. Follow this single crochet on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase, single crochet, increase, and we're going to repeat that all the way around until you get to this point here. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. I've now worked my way all the way around, and stitch count at this point should be 18. We're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch and stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with 1 more single crochet. So we've got 2 in a row, followed on with an increase. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 24. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, and 3. Stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow these 3 single crochets on with an increase. And here's your combination for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 30. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place, and we're going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 5 times altogether to have 5 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead, work 5 rounds of single crochet with 30 single crochet in each round, and then meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds, a single crochet stitch count should still be 30. We're now going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. Let's put the stitch marker back on. And we're going to follow these 3 single crochets on with a decrease. Now when you're working a decrease, we are reducing the number of stitches. And to do this, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 3 single crochets, followed on with a decrease. Let's show you this one more time. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, in the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. You're going to follow this combination, repeat it all the way around to complete this round. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 24. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. Stitch marker back in place. Follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets, followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count is 18. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place. Follow this on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to follow this on with a decrease. So still the same combination as before, but in this round we're going to be able to fit this 4 times all together. So that's first time, 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease, second time, 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease, third time, and we're going to fit that in one more time, a single crochet, followed on with a decrease. Now this brings our stitch count to 8. We're now going to start the next round, and this is going to be your first round of the body. Slip your hook in the next stitch, and we are going to work an increase in there. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. Follow this increase on with an increase in every single one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you are going to have 8 increases altogether. Now the gap between the stitches is quite small, but we are finished with the head now. So go ahead and stuff this head up with fiberfill, work 8 increases, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round of 8 increases, your stitch count is 16. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place. Follow the single crochet on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. You should be able to fit that combination in 8 times. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 24. We're going to now start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 24 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 2 more times to have 3 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead, work 3 rounds of single crochet with 24 single crochets in each round, and then meet me back here. At the end of 3 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 24. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, stitch marker in place, and let's follow these on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, stitch count is 18. Let's start the next round by working 1 single crochet, stitch marker, back in place. Follow this on with a decrease. And that's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease. Repeat that all the way around. Now the gap between your stitches is reducing, and we are going to close this off in a couple of rounds. So make sure you work that round. Stuff this body up with fiber fill as well, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 12. We are now going to work our final round to close this gap off, so make sure that the body is stuffed nice and well with fiber fill. And for this round, we're going to be working 6 decreases. Here's my first decrease, second, third, fourth, fifth, and my decrease number 6. Now once you work that, you will notice that there is still a tiny gap left between the stitches. You have 2 options. You are either going to use a darning needle to stitch this gap up, or the other option is that you work 1 more decrease to make this gap so small that you can finish off by working a slip stitch. So I'm going to work a slip stitch in the opposite stitch. This is the opposite stitch. And we can now go ahead and snip this yarn off. Pull it out of the stitch and pull this down. And slip your hook in from further away, make it come out from that very same stitch. Loop this yarn onto your hook and pull this into the body. If it's too long or if it's sticking out, you can snip it off. Or if it comes out from the other side, you can snip it off. And there we go. That's the body and the head of this frog complete. Now on to the arms and legs, and for this let's start off by working a slip knot and chain 2. Skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Four, 5, and here's my 6th one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between the stitches and start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round to start round 2. So that's my first single crochet of round 2. I'm gonna use a stitch marker to identify that stitch. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And in the stitch after that, we're going to repeat that same combination. 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase, 1 single crochet, followed on with an increase in the last stitch. This brings your stitch count to 9. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place, and we're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 9 single crochets. And there we go. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker in place. We're going to follow this single crochet on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's turn this the right way around, stuff the tail inside, and continue with that combination. 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease, and 1 single crochet, followed on with a decrease. But before I work my last decrease, I'm going to take some fiber fill and stuff just this part of the arm and leg with some fiber fill. So let's do that. And here's my last decrease of this round. Stitch count is 6 at this point. Now from here we are going to be starting the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, and we're going to have single crochets in every single one of these stitches. So in total you will have 6 single crochets in a row to finish this round. And once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 10 times for the legs and 5 times for the arms altogether to make each of those. So the arms, these are the legs, that's what it's going to look like. And for the arms, it's going to be a little bit smaller, but exactly the same. So go ahead, work 5 rounds of single crochets, including this one, to make the arms, and 10 rounds of single crochets to make the legs, and then meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 6, and this is what the arm looks like. I'm now going to show you how to close the top part off, like I have already done for the legs. So this is 10 rounds of single crochet, and this one is 5 rounds of single crochet. But we're going to work 1 row of single crochets to close the gap on the top. So let's show you that. You're going to slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to go through the stitch at the back as well. And if I pull these apart, you can see I've gone through the stitches in the front and the back in one go. Pull up a loop, work your first single crochet there. Slip your hook in the next stitch and next stitch at the back as well. Second single crochet, and third and final one is right here. Now once you've worked your 3 single crochets, you're going to chain 1, snip the yarn off, and pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. You're going to leave a little tail so we can sew this onto the body later. So go ahead, follow the same method and work 2 more of the same. 1 more leg, 1 more arm, and then meet me back here. Now onto the eyes, and for this let's grab our green yarn and work a slip knot and chain 2. Skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Three, 4, 5, 6. And once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches and start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work an increase in there. That's my first increase of this round. We're going to be working 6 increases. Here's my second increase, third increase, fourth, fifth, and my final one, increase number 6. Once you have your 6 increases, stitch count would be 12. We're now going to start using a stitch marker in the next round. So start off by working a single crochet in our first stitch, put the stitch marker in place, and follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 12 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 1 more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochet. Go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 12. We're now going to fasten off in the next stitch by working a slip stitch. Let's grab our scissors and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull it down to secure this in place. And from here we are going to change the color over to white or cream, whichever one you have. And I'm going to move away from that stitch so we don't see a sudden change in color. I'm going to catch just the back loop only. So we've got a front loop here. I'm attaching my yarn onto the back loop only by pulling this through. Hold the tail down and chain 1. Pull it down and this will tie a knot in place. Going around that stitch again to work your single crochet here, like this. In the next stitch you're going to pull up a loop, just the back loop only, and in the stitch after that pull up a loop from the back loop only. Yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And that's what we're going to be repeating all the way around. Let's work on this together. So when we're catching back loops, you can see there is a V shape. Slip your hook in the middle and that isolates the back loop only. So that's 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 back loops only, like this. Yarn over, pull through all 3. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease. Move the tail end out of the way and continue working all the way around. And final time, 1 single crochet and follow that on with a decrease. And there we go. Let's move all these strands inside and stuff this eye up with some fiber fill. So altogether there are 8 stitches on your on the top. So we are now going to fasten off and close this gap off fully by working 4 decreases. Slip your hook in the first single crochet that was done in white, pull up a loop, in the stitch after that pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's my first decrease. And just like this you're going to work your way all the way around. Second decrease, third, and my 4th one. Now you'll notice that there is still a tiny gap left between your stitches. Mine is so small that I can simply work a slip stitch in the opposite direction and that will close my gap off. And there we go. Snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we go. Once that's done, slip your hook in from further away, make it come out from the stitch that you just finished with, loop this bit of yarn onto your hook and pull this inside this eye. If it comes out from another side, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You can just leave it inside the eye. So I'm going to feed it back in, and there we go. That's done. Now we're going to grab our green color again and attach it onto the front loops only. So if I show you over here, there is a line right in the front and those are your front loops only. So isolate one of the stitches and attach the yarn onto it by working a chain 1, pull it down, and that ties a knot in place. Going around that same stitch to work a single crochet. Now we're going to be working single crochets all the way around here. So that's my first one. Go around the next back loop only, the front loop only, single crochet. So all in all you will have 12 single crochets. Last 2 stitches left, and there's my final one. Once you made your way all the way around, you're going to work a slip stitch in the first single crochet here and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and secure it in place by pulling this down or up, whichever way you're working. And now that's done, I'm going to put these 2 threads inside the eye as well. So pull one of them at a time. You can take it out from another side, or you can simply leave them inside the body. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to take them both in and snip them to a shorter size. The next one as well. So for the other one, slip your hook in from same way, further away. Pull this strand in as well. And pull it inside the body, or the eye rather. And there we go. And that's one of the arms complete, one of the eyes complete. So we're going to be embroidering the black bit in the eye later on. Go ahead and work another one of these and then meet me back here. Now onto the assembly. We're going to start off by making a black heart in the middle of the eye. And we're going to do that with some black plush yarn. Slip your needle from further away, wherever you like, but on the green bit. Guide it to go through some fiber fill and come out at the just after the first round here. And from there, you are going to pull this thread in quite a bit, and we are going to start off by making a V shape like this. And go through that same stitch a couple of times. So you have 2 or 3 strands coming from the same bit. And keep moving it along so it sits side by side. Now we're going on the other side. Keep it symmetrical. Put it in. That's one. And one more. There we go. Now we've got 2 strands from both sides and it's looking somewhat like a heart, and we're going to now just keep repeating it until we have the perfect embroidered eye that we are after. So I'm going to go through this part one more time, and I feel that looks much more better and it looks more like a heart. And finally slip your needle in from the other side as well, because we've got 3 strands here. Let's have 3 strands on this side as well. And there we go. I'm happy with that. We're going to slip the needle back into that same point and make it go through some fiber fill and come out from the starting point right here. I'm going to now take a pair of scissors, snip these down to a shorter size, grab these and tie them in a knot. I always do a double knot because it secures it nice and well. Let's grab our hook, slip our needle or the hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch where we have just tied the knot, and pull both of the strands into the body or the eye. And there we go. And once you've done that, let's pick on these few black bits. And that completes the embroidery of the eye. We've got a little heart on the inside of the eyes, all done now. Let's grab the body and the arms now. I'm going to go ahead and thread a darning needle with green yarn. Grab the body. As we don't have anything on it, you can simply attach the eyes anywhere. So we are going to be attaching the eyes right on the top like this. So to do that, I'm going to show you. So obviously making sure that the heart is pointing downwards or sideways, it's up to you. So I'm going to have it like this, and the side of the eye is 1, 2, 3. So touching the side and the round 3 on the outside here. So catch that round where you want to start attaching the eye. You are going to hold the eye the way you want it to be and slip the needle through the stitches on the eye as well. Hold that strand down and go through the same stitch a couple of times on this side. And one more time. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. So I made the needle come out from this side, and wherever it sits, I can see the edge of the eye is touching the body on this round. So I'm going to catch that one stitch and catch the stitches on the eye as well, and go through those two stitches a few times as well, like just the way we did it from the other side. And once you feel the connections nice and strong, you're going to slip this needle in, make it come out from the starting point again. And over here, I'm going to take these two strands. First, snip them down to a shorter size, and let's tie them in a knot. Again, I'm going to do a double knot. And we're going to grab our hook, slip the hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, loop those strands onto the hook and pull them into the head. And there we are. Now that's one of the eyes attached. You're going to follow the same method and attach the other one on as well, and then meet me back here. Eyes are now on. Moving on to the blush, and for this, let's grab some pink yarn, thread it into your darning needle, and we're just going to create a tiny little blush directly underneath the eyes. I'm going to make this blush 2 rounds or 2 stitches wide. So you're going to take it out like this, and you're going to just keep going through those stitches a few times until you have your desired size of the blush. And each time when you get the new strand, make it sit next to the previous strand and pull it slightly so it's nice and settled in its position. I've gone through it 3 times and I feel like I'm happy with that. I'm going to do it one more time, and that is going to be it for me. So altogether we've gone through it 4 times, and now I'm going to snip this yarn down to a shorter size. And when we're tying the knot this time, you need to make sure that you do it in the corner of the blush, because we don't want the knot to be visible, because we will pull this in a minute. And once you're done, slip your hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, loop those 2 strands of yarn onto your hook and pull them into the head. And there we go. And that's one of the blush done. You're going to follow the same instructions, do the other side as well. Blush is now complete. Let's go ahead and thread our darning needle with black yarn. We're going to begin by slipping this needle in from further away, make it come out from one round below the blush like this. And it's going to go all the way on the other side here, directly below the blush on the other side. Now from here, you're going to guide your needle to come out from the center, right in the middle of the blush. Now this is where you're going to decide how deep do you want the smile to be, because wherever this is, that's how deep it's going to be. So if you had put it up there, that's what the smile will look like. So I've gone for this point. I'm going to tighten the loop first, make it a straight line like that, and then slip this needle inside that same stitch where we have just got this black thread out from. Guide it to go through some fiber fill and make it come out from the starting point. Pull this out, and now when we move these strands, this will make the smile take shape. So let's grab this strand first, pull this down, and gently pull these strands and see where you want the smile to end up. And there we go. I'm happy with that smile. Now once you have finished with that, you're going to cut those 2 strands down to a shorter size, tie them in a knot, making sure you don't pull it too much, and grab your hook, pull these strands in, and there we go. That's the smile of this little froggy complete. Now let's grab the arm and the legs, and we are going to show you where to sew these. So when it comes to, there are two ways of doing this. And I'll show you both of the ways. One way is when you grab the leg, you could fold it in half like this, but getting this chunky part to be sticking out, and you can attach the leg on the side. Or you can attach it on this side so that it can be sitting down and getting its leg folded up. I'm going to be showing you this method, and to do this you're going to fold it up, leave this chunky part out, and insert the needle just so it holds shape and it stays in place like that. And from here you are going to grab the frog and make sure that it's laying down flat on the surface, and you're only going to attach, this is going to go on the side, but you're only going to attach the back part of it, not the front. So hold it on the side profile like this in line with the eye, and catch one stitch on the body and one stitch on the, let's try to get this in front of the camera, just bear with me. There we go. So if I move this back, you can see. So one stitch on the body and one stitch on the leg. One stitch on the body. One stitch on the leg. And just like this, you are going to be attaching the two components together. And once you've attached one side, slip your needle in, make it come out from the other side, and attach that as well. It's just the back of it, because we're going to keep the top part loose. There we go. Now I've made my way all the way around. We're going to go through a loop, the stitch, create a loop. We're going to slip our needle inside that loop and pull down to attach and secure this in place, and that's going to create a knot. Slip your needle back into that same stitch, guide it to go through some fiber fill and make it come out from another side of the body. Let's go ahead and snip this off, and to shape it up we are going to first squeeze the body just so it can retain its shape, and then pull this down like this. And there we go. That's the leg of this frog done. I'm now going to grab the arm. We're going to, again, have two options here. You can either stitch this right in the front, so it's sitting like this, or you can stitch it directly above the legs. So I'm going to be sewing this above the legs, again, keeping this in line with the eye in the side profile. Or you can just use the leg as a guidance and have that in the middle of the leg. And from here, catch one stitch on the leg, or the body, sorry, and one stitch on the arm. One stitch on the body, one stitch on the arm, and sew it together. Once you got to the last stitch, you're going to go through that one more time. Create a loop, slip your needle through that loop, and pull this down. And there we go, that's attached now. Slip your needle back inside that same stitch, guide it to go through some fiber fill again, and pull it out of another side of the body. You can repeat the process if you wish to, or you can just take it out and snip it off with a pair of scissors. Now follow the same instructions and attach the other arm and leg as well, and then meet me back here. Arms and legs are now on, and that completes our little froggy. If you wish to have the arms down by the side or in the front of the tummy, feel free to connect that but I prefer mine just the way they are. I hope you enjoyed making this little frog with me. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.